division is that thing that keeps us from becoming one. And so
Right.
division isn't just about disagreement. It's really about the strategy to destroy what God has joined together.
Yeah.
That is what division is. And so we have to start seeing those things that become
That's
divisive in our marriage and divisive in our family as strategies against what God has joined together.
Hey, everybody, I'm Larry.
And I'm Julia.
Welcome to another episode of the Beautifully Blended podcast. We have a strong passion to inspire blended families and marriages to find help, hope, and healing.
Yes, we've been married for 16 years.
Long time.
And we have seen the ups and downs of marriage and just trying to do it the right way. And so we're excited to come alongside you as you are not only looking to make the investment in your marriage, but also in your blended family.
The fall season is here. We made it through summer.
Yes.
We're in the thick of fall. Holidays are coming up.
Yes.
I got a birthday coming up.
Woo!
Woo, woo. And God is good.
Mm-hmm.
We're grateful that we get to share this space with you. Thank you so much for watching.
Mm-hmm.
Every new episode that comes out, thank you for your comments and responding. If you have been blessed by this content, share it with someone. We work really hard to make sure we are thinking through this content to make sure that it's quality, that it's accurate, and that it's helpful. So if you've been helped or blessed by this, please share it with someone else, like, subscribe, do all the things so that we can reach more people.
Right. Now, listen, you brought up the fall.
I did.
Yes. So what's your favorite thing about fall?
I love it. Fall's my favorite season. I love everything about fall. I love sweater weather.
I had a feeling you were going to say it like that too.
I mean, is there another way to say it?
Sweater weather.
No, there is. Incorrect. I like hoodies. I like the leaves changing colors.
The boots, the Timbs.
Yeah, the boots, all of that stuff. I like
the stuff.
Driving and seeing all the fall leaves. And
Yeah.
The food.
Right.
Let's go.
Right. I mean, and living in the Northeast means we get to see the weather.
We get all the seasons.
We get all the seasons. So that is, I understand. I mean, my favorite thing about fall are the holidays.
Okay, yeah.
I don't like cold. I don't like cold weather.
Right.
I don't like chilly weather. So summer is my season.
Yeah.
It makes me the most happy, but I love the excuse to decorate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you do it well.
Thank you.
Yeah. Everything.
I love
I'm
it.
surprised the set's not decorated with like fall leaves.
Listen, Christmas, just wait.
Okay.
It's coming.
Looking for you gonna have me in a Santa hat?
No,
Okay.
but it's coming. It's coming. So listen, as we dive into this episode,
Yeah, let's go.
last season in episode 18, we talked about inclusion versus competition in your blended family.
If you missed that, go check it out. Inclusion versus competition was a great episode.
Great episode. And so today we're going to go a little further and we're going to talk about really team building in your marriage, in your blended family. It is an area that couples a lot of times struggle. They really struggle with it because as you're wrestling through what this new season looks like, this new normal, it's easy to fall back in old habits. It's easy to fall back into old routines and the ways you did it before you got married. And so when you do that, you can exclude your spouse and it really becomes a them versus me kind of a situation.
Right.
So we really want to change direction when that comes.
Yeah, in order to embrace your new normal, you got to move from me and mine to us. Like an us mentality. It needs to be infused into your language. It needs to be infused into pretty much everything that you do. And when you do that, you are moving from just thinking about you and yourself. And like when you get married, you don't just blend love.
Right.
You blend traditions.
Right.
You blend routines.
Yeah.
You blend recipes.
Yes.
You blend all sorts of things.
You really got hype about the recipes.
I know. I wasn't excited about love, but when I said recipes, I was like all in.
Food is important, and we have some really good recipes.
Yeah, we do. So you don't just blend the intangibles, like real
Right.
life things, you have to learn to share. Play nice in the sandbox. Like, you got to learn how to do that. That is the new normal, right?
That is exactly. And so
Yeah.
it can be so natural to hold on to what's familiar. And
Right.
what's familiar is the before you got married,
Right.
right? But sometimes that instinct that you have to go back to the old ways,
Hmm.
you're creating walls, you're building walls rather than
Yeah.
building bridges. And we've talked about that multiple times,
Yeah. Sorry about
just
that.
about how it's important to build bridges rather than build walls. And
Right.
so that can sound like anything like that's my chair. That's those are my kids.
Right.
I remember an episode before where I was like, if that's his washer and her dryer, who's washing clothes? You know, who's
Right.
cleaning the clothes, right?
Right.
Because it's like it's mine. It's very territorial.
Right.
But we have to be willing to let down those walls and build
Absolutely.
bridges. We have to look at our marriage and our blended families more as like teams rather than,
Yeah. Yeah.
opposing teams, like we're on the same team,
Yeah.
right? And so that's really important. You want to make sure as we're going through this episode, we want to unpack some of those best practices and how
Yeah.
how this can really affect the family's sense of oneness and togetherness and really start to change that.
I think there's an area in particular where a lot of families may struggle, and we have an example, and I don't know if it's necessarily a bad example, but it's a great practice.
Yeah.
One of the things that I think a lot of people struggle with is sharing everything, including their finances.
Yeah.
We went to premarital counseling before we got married, and we were encouraged to have one joint account.
Right.
Both of our names are on the account. We get
Right.
two debit cards. I get one, you get one checking checkbook,
Checkbook. Right.
and we share our money.
Hmm.
So I know within the culture that isn't a popular thing to do, but it is a necessary
Right.
thing to do. And we didn't have any pushback against it because we understood every single step that you take towards blending and coming together and losing the me and mine mentality and
Right.
creating an us mentality is
Right.
ultimately going to strengthen your marriage. So when we decided to have a joint account, I wrote down three real reasons that I think
Okay.
it is extremely important to do this. And again, this is just an example of how to create an us mentality.
Right.
One of the reasons I think it's important to have a joint account is it builds trust, not secrecy.
Right.
Like, it helps you to budget together.
Right. Right.
Everybody sees the budget. Download the app. You can
Hmm.
see what's in the account. You can see
Mhm.
how much I get paid. I can see how much you get paid. And then we can keep everything in the open. There
Right.
is nothing secret about that. The other thing is it unites mission
Yeah, that's good.
because you are planning how you're going to spend your money together.
Absolutely.
You're united in mission. You're planning vacations. You're planning uh, trips to Home Depot together, or or whatever your favorite restaurant is.
Date night at Home Depot.
Date night at Home Depot and Costco. Let's go. That's an adult date night. But it helps you to unite your mission. But
Right.
the other thing that we found in having a joint account, which
Mhm.
again moves from me and mine to an us mentality, is it creates accountability.
Right.
If you have accountability in your marriage, it allows for you to not be a runaway train
Yeah.
and do whatever it is that you feel like is the right thing to do without having a conversation with your spouse, your husband and or your wife. They need to be involved in these conversations. So that is an example of what it looks like to get rid of that me and mine mentality and begin
Right.
to adopt an us mentality. This life, this marriage, this family is about us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There was a word we used in the last season and I so struggled with it, but I'm going to do well with it this time.
Okay.
And it
We're
was
praying for you.
yeah, thank you. Thank you. I feel the prayers. No, it was territorialism.
Yeah.
Haha, I did it good.
Nailed it.
All right. So this is really important because you essentially have said this over and over again about me, myself, and I, and just the me mentality
Yeah.
versus us mentality, right?
Mhm.
And so this is a really, really prevalent thing. There can be a lot of territorialism within the marriage and within your blended family. And a lot of times it's not so much about
Hmm.
selfishness, it can be about survival.
Yeah.
And those survival instincts kick in whenever you feel fearful
Yeah.
that you are losing something. You're
Right.
losing some sense of belonging. You're losing some sense of relevance. You're losing some sense of identity.
Right.
And so, whenever that territorialism kicks in, it's more about survival and
That's
making
so
sure
good.
that everybody feels seen, everybody feels heard,
Yeah.
everybody is a part,
Right.
right? And so, that's another aspect of why we have to deal with this.
So when you talk about that survival instinct,
Right.
what that is it's a protective instinct.
Yeah.
You're trying to protect your territory,
Mm-hmm.
who you are,
Yes.
everything that you've accomplished in
Yes.
life, what your education or the skills that you have. Like you're trying to protect your
Right.
identity.
Right.
Those protective instincts can easily pull a family apart
Absolutely.
because you're not pursuing unity, you're not pursuing oneness, you're not pursuing your wife
Mm-hmm.
or your husband. Your main objective is to protect yourself, and like you said, you are in survival mode.
Yep.
I want to make sure that I am surviving.
Yep.
So those protective instincts, they show up in three very specific ways.
Right.
One of the ways that they show up is just divided authority. And when you don't really have like clear boundaries,
Yeah.
and when that shows up, you're asking questions like, who is doing the disciplining?
Mm-hmm.
Whose rules really matter? My rule, like, are my rules the most important rules in his family, or your rules the most important
Right.
rules in his family? And where that shows up is in the kids.
Yep.
You see the kids listening more to one person than the other person.
Yep.
That is an indication that there's division in the camp.
Right.
There's division in the family. Something needs to shift. Something needs to change about how you are communicating and how you are demonstrating
Yeah.
unity in your marriage and in your relationship. I think if when we pay attention to that, we begin to realize that every single moment that we have, whether it's bedtime stories or chores, it could turn into a struggle if we're not careful.
That's right. That's so good. That's so good. The second one I would say is competing loyalties. So the kids might have this loyalty to the step parent. They may have a loyalty to their biological parent that's outside the home.
Right.
They may have a loyalty to each other or their biological siblings. It could be all kinds of things. But that competing loyalty can become such a roadblock to really unity,
Yeah.
and really building that team effort in your family. And so that tension makes it hard for you to lean into this
Yeah.
is our new normal.
Hey, family, real quick. Do you ever wish that there was a space where couples and blended families could go to get real answers to real life issues?
Not just tips and quotes, but community, tools, and a space to grow together. That's why we've launched the Beautifully Blended School Community.
It's our online home where we will talk about a lot of the things that we talk about on our podcast, things like communication, co-parenting, step family dynamics, forgiveness, and a whole lot more.
Each month, you'll receive exclusive content like video lessons, worksheets, live Q&A, and a private community to grow with others on the same road as you.
So maybe this is your first time at marriage or blending your family, or you may have been at this for a long time. Either way, we want you to know that you don't have to do this by yourself.
So join us so we can build something beautiful together.
Visit beautifullyblendedpodcast.com or click the link below in our show notes so you can sign up for our school community today.
We can't wait to connect with you.
The third way that these like protective instincts show up, I believe, are the unspoken traditions that people have.
Yeah.
People have ways of doing things.
Listen,
and you don't
facts.
touch their way of doing whatever it is that they do.
No.
And you guys who are watching or listening right now, you know you have a certain way that you
Yes.
do what it is that you do.
Yes.
And if someone dares to touch the way that you are doing it, you have now deemed them a threat
Yes.
to whatever it is that you're
Yes.
trying to accomplish. So we have ways of celebrating holidays.
Yeah.
We have ways of putting away dishes. You mentioned earlier how we have very distinct ways in how we think about how we're going to organize our kitchen. Like
Mhm.
I put things away to get them away.
Right. I put them away so that I have easy access to the things I need easy access to.
Right.
And I'm shorter than you.
There it is.
So that means I need to have things that I can reach. I don't
Right.
want to pull out a whole ladder to get all the way to the very top to
Right.
grab it.
Right. So my,
So,
my first thought is not can I reach it because I know I can reach it because I
right,
put it there, right?
right,
So my first thought is not is it reachable?
right,
My first thought is I don't want this on the counter or I don't want this in the sink or whatever it is.
right, right, right,
And then I put it away to get it away. But
hmm,
that's a great example
right,
of things that we do out of tradition or out of habit
right,
that we don't if we don't think about how it affects the other spouse, it's going to push us into our corners and make us choose sides.
right,
It's going to make us have more conversations about who is right and wrong,
right,
who is right or wrong,
right.
rather than, thinking about our spouse and considering them.
Right. And a lot of times it's not even about right or wrong, right?
Yeah.
It really isn't. It's really about just different ways of doing things and different perspectives. But
Right.
without that open conversation to really deal with these things, whether it's the, competing loyalties or the different unspoken traditions or whatever it
Yeah.
is, we're going to continue to hit this wall and we're going
Yeah.
to continue to build this wall that we're going to keep hitting. So it's
Yeah.
really important to have that open conversation so that we're able to make that process. We're able to reach our goals and eliminate the barriers to moving
I
forward.
agree. 100% agree. I,
Yeah.
I want to read a scripture. Before I read the scripture, there are four tools that we're going to give you towards the end of this episode that I believe are going to help you to move from a me and mine mentality to an us mentality in your
Right.
family and in your home. So I want to read the scripture in Genesis 2, verse 24, and this is what it says. Therefore, a man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his wife, and they shall become one flesh.
Hmm.
Jesus said the same thing in Matthew 19:5, and the two shall become one flesh. Paul says the same thing in Ephesians 5:31, and the two shall become one flesh. These verses point toward one outcome, becoming one. That is the goal of marriage, to
Yep.
become one, not to protect individualism,
Right.
not to be territorial,
Right.
not to be individualistic. Our
Right.
goal in marriage is to become one because that was the design
Right.
of marriage from its inception.
Right. Right. And so really, I love that. And I love that we see that reiterated, at least three times in
Yeah.
scripture. One of the things that we struggle with in this area is the fact that we don't always see the division that's in front of us.
Yeah.
And division is not just, the division, the two visions.
Right.
Division is that thing that keeps us from becoming one. And so
Right.
division isn't just about disagreement. It's really about the strategy to destroy what God
Hmm.
has joined together.
Yeah.
That is what division is. And so we have to start seeing those things that become
That's good.
divisive in our marriage and divisive in our family as strategies against what God has joined together.
Yeah.
God has brought this family together. God has brought this man and woman together. That
Mm.
has brought these children by default into
Yeah.
this family.
Yeah.
And so anything that's trying to be divisive and to divide our loyalties, divide us on things that are so trivial a lot of times.
Right.
Those are strategies to
Right.
divide what God has joined together. And we need to stand against that.
That is so so good.
So,
Those strategies that the enemy uses to divide us, we don't just need to recognize them. We need to treat them as a direct opponent.
right,
We need to treat it as a direct threat
right,
towards our marriage and the future of our family and
right,
real unity in our marriage. If we don't treat whatever thing is trying to divide us as a threat,
right.
we coddle it,
Yep,
we entertain it,
right,
we don't draw a hard line in the sand.
right.
And that's really what needs to happen. So what you
Absolutely.
shared was really good. So we have four tools that we want to give you in this episode that I believe are going to help you and be transformative as you are learning how to move from a me and
Right.
mine mentality to an us mentality in your blended family and in your marriage. The first one is practice joint problem solving.
Hmm.
I think our habit is just to solve the problem.
Right. I got this.
I got this. I'll figure it out. You go to bed, I'll take care of it. You
Mhm.
go to work, I'll take care of it. You
Mhm.
do whatever you want to do,
Mhm.
but I'm going to take care of it. And I think the more that we have that sort of mentality, in
Right.
particular in a marriage that um, is going to thrive in unity, that mentality is going to continue to drive a wedge between you and your spouse because they will not feel like a participant. They won't feel like they're a part
Right.
of the solution. They won't see the value that they bring to this union. And if they begin to see themselves as invaluable or don't really play a part,
Right.
then it's just going to cause more issues between the husband and the wife or between the parents and the children.
Right. Right. The second one would be to create shared responsibilities and activities. Find ways to create things
Yeah,
that you can do together. Find ways to add not just conversation but participation. You
that's
want to
good.
make sure that everyone has a stake. Everyone has an opportunity. Some of the things that I know we did to try to make sure not only were we getting things done, but the children also had a stake in it. We had chore charts.
Yeah,
And so our daughters, when they were younger, they had chores they had to complete. There was accountability because
right,
there was a list of this is how this chore should be completed.
right.
And then we went back to check. And so each child had their opportunity. We also, there were times where I know you read books with them and they had to
Hmm.
read them and then they had a quiz on it.
Gave them tests. Yeah, I
Yes, you,
did.
you have to make sure they know, make sure they were reading it.
Yeah,
Did you really read it? But there are different things that you can do with our daughters who are now adults. They participate in family meals, especially holiday meals.
yeah.
Again, we're coming into the holiday season, and so that's the thing that we do. I know at an event recently, I made a comment about you better let those kids learn how to make the macaroni and cheese. And we were
Yeah,
like, no, no. And it's like, no, they got to learn some kind of
they
way.
do.
Right. And so you make sure that there's a way that everyone can participate. You're not leaving it just to this one person. Oh, mom always does this. Dad always does this. Aunt Susie always.
Yeah,
No, everyone has an opportunity to participate.
right.
And we're modeling for them what that looks like when they get
Yeah.
older.
That
Right.
what you just described is being intentional.
Yes.
Is really being intentional about
Right.
making sure that everyone is seen
Yes.
and they belong and they feel
Yes.
like they belong.
Yes, we want them to feel that way.
Yeah. So the third thing that we want to encourage you to do is pray and plan together.
Yeah.
Praying and planning together should go hand in hand. A lot of times we plan, but we're not praying while we plan.
Yeah.
We're not inviting God into our planning process
Right.
with the understanding that He has all wisdom. He has the ability to get us from point A to point B. He has
Mhm.
the wisdom and the strategy that we really need in order to have a plan that works for us
Right.
and our family. We want to invite our God into the situation because it allows us to model for our kids what it looks like
Right.
to be dependent on the God who is able to unify us and really keep us together as a family. So plan and pray together.
Yep, that's good. That's good. I would say the final one is to establish weekly check-ins. We have to, as husband and wife, we have to have check-ins. We
Yeah.
have to know what we're doing, where we're going, how we're doing, what we're doing, and how we're getting to where, we got to have those
All of that.
details,
Yeah.
right? And then once we have our weekly check-in, then we have one with the kids. I know we used to have,
Yeah.
especially when our daughters were younger, we used to have family meetings every Sunday because Sunday was the point based on our schedule when everybody was back home.
Yeah, that
If
worked for us.
if they went away, they were back by Sunday. And so we would have a family meeting on Sundays, or that was the day that they were leaving, or whatever the case is. But we would do that every week. And that was
Yeah.
very helpful to talk about, okay, the week ahead. What are we looking into
Yeah.
happening? And so, but the parents need to have the conversation first. The
Yeah.
the adults need
Y'all
to have
need to agree first
they need to
before your
agree
meeting.
first because you don't want to get to a meeting and you're like, I didn't sign off on that. Who said we going
Yeah.
there? I didn't. So who's
Yeah.
making the like? You don't want any
And
problems.
you know what? I think that is a pretty basic problem that happens in marriages where the parents they don't agree.
Right.
They don't make it a priority to agree with one another
Right.
before they introduce
Right.
whatever the next step or the plan is to the children.
Right.
And kids can see when they don't agree. I
Right.
know our kids could see.
Right.
They could tell when we don't when I wanted McDonald's, me as the adult want you know what? Give me someone go get me a fish sandwich from McDonald's and I wanted fries because McDonald's fries are the best. We agree on that.
We agree.
But
Except for
if
the curly fries at Arby's. I do like
you
those.
like those better than McDonald's fries,
I mean, sometimes, but go ahead.
you tripping.
Sometimes.
So when I wanted McDonald's fries,
Mhm.
but you cooked a meal at home,
Mhm.
and we were like on two different pages. Like, I know you made baked chicken, and I want some chicken too, but I also want some McDonald's fries. It's like the kids knew.
Uh-huh.
So dad actually himself, he wants McDonald's fries. So
Right.
dad, can we go to McDonald's, please?
Uh-huh.
And you were like, uh-huh. I did all this cooking in the kitchen
Uh-huh.
and the chicken is done and this is what we're going to eat. So they know when we're not
Right.
on the same page. They know when you're not on the same page.
Right.
So it is vitally important to make sure that you guys are having a conversation before you introduce things to your children.
Right. And be consistent. Consistency is what's going to build your
Yeah.
marriage, build your family,
Yeah.
and it's really going to prevent some of the small issues becoming big ones.
Yeah. It's the consistent small changes that you make now which
Right.
will turn your individual family members into a strong family unit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so one of our big takeaways today is this statement. A family becomes strong
Yeah.
not when everyone is defending their own corner, but when everyone is protecting the circle. And
That's
so what
good.
that means is we want to make sure that we're not just defending our corner, our right, our individuality, our perspective, our unspoken traditions, our loyalties over here. We want to protect the whole circle. The
Yeah.
whole circle is everybody included. So we want to make sure that a family that will grow
That's good.
strong is one that's going to protect the whole circle, not just our individual
No,
interests.
you're right. At the end of the day, that's what this journey is about. It's not about protecting individuality.
Right.
Yes, God created us uniquely
Right.
different, and we all
Right.
have different skill sets. We have different gifts, but that is not what we are talking about
Right.
today. We're talking about the unity within the family and not having a mentality of me, myself, and I as you blend your family.
Right.
You got to develop a different mentality. So, this journey is
Right.
not about protecting individuality. It is about choosing to protect the same space that we all live in. We share the same toys.
Right.
We share the same kitchen. We share the same living room. We share the same backyard. Are we doing everything that we can do to protect this space
Right.
that is our space as a family?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, here is one challenge for you this week. Find ways to take those small steps to go from
Yeah.
me to us. Okay. So, that may look like finding ways that you stop saying my to our, right? It's not my house, it's our house. It's
Yeah.
not my car, it's our car. Find ways that you can talk about things that would include people in your family instead of excluding them.
Right.
And then maybe you also start some kind of new family activity. Maybe you have game night, maybe a board
Yeah.
game night, maybe you have something where you have a meal and one meal a week where everybody participates, even your littles. If you have little kids, maybe they're helping with putting the napkins on the
Right.
table or whatever it is. Find ways to take those small steps to really create that team building
Yeah.
aspect in your family.
I want to weigh in on what you just said
Okay.
because you can't do that without effort.
Right.
It requires effort. It requires
Yeah.
taking all of the iPads from everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It requires everyone putting their phone down.
Mm-hmm.
It requires let's turn the television off.
Mm-hmm.
Let's sit around a table and have a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
It does take effort, and it may feel uncomfortable for you as the parent or the mother or the father or whatever to do something that is uncomfortable for you. But if you can do the thing that's uncomfortable for you for the greater good of the family,
Right.
you're going to reap the benefits within the entire family. Sometimes
Absolutely.
we are so into being individuals ourselves that our children just mirror our
Mm,
behavior.
that's good.
They mirror what they see.
Yeah.
They watch the husband on the phone playing a game, and they watch the wife on the phone shopping on Amazon. No offense. They watch
No
the
offense
wife
taken.
shopping on Amazon, but they're sitting right next to each other and they're not talking to each other.
Right.
So the kids are watching what being married as individuals looks like
Right.
rather than what it looks like to be married and becoming one.
Yeah.
So
That's good.
if we're not putting in the effort to say everybody, and we did that, everybody put your phones in this basket.
Yeah.
We have a docking station
Yeah.
for all devices. Put your device in that basket, and we're going to have conversations, we're going to play games. So it requires
Right.
effort in order to do that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Right. So listen, we would love to hear from you. We would love to hear your stories. We'd love to hear how this all went, how you tried something new, you took some
Right.
small step. We'd love to hear that. So please comment, let us know. We'd love to hear from you on social media, through our
Yep.
website. So many times with these episodes, when people make comments, you never know who it can help. And not
It's
only us
true.
creating the content, but your engagement. So we would love to hear from you, and others would love to hear from you as well. And if you
Absolutely.
enjoyed this content, please like, subscribe, follow.
Please.
Please share this with other people, because we want to continue to get as much of this content out to people who want to hear it as well.
Absolutely. So thank you so much for joining us for another episode of the Beautifully Blended podcast. We'll see you next time.
See ya.